Now I have knowledge that body is from the matter and it's mortal. Soul is immortal, it's eternal, and soul enters the body to play the part. And it is through the sense organs, physical organs, that I do actions and play my part. As actor always remembers on the stage that I am playing my part. So this also is a drama stage, but my home is beyond five elements, is the element of light, element of light, and there is silence, purity. So I, as incorporeal soul, go beyond these physical elements to my sweet home, home of silence. So now with this awareness that I, as a living point of light, I go to home through my intellect and experience sweet and deep silence of home. Mind and intellect become very restful in silence. So taking drishti from Baba, experience your home of sweet silence.
Om Shanti. Om Shanti. Welcome to Avikti Parivar. So today we are completing our January, 31st of January. So you don't see any theme on the slide today, but we are concluding today and welcoming our new series from tomorrow. So let's see what's new coming up. So now we'll be listening to Mohini Didi.
Om Shanti. Today is the last day of month of January. We had very, very rich and spiritual practice for whole month of January. Everyone was very, very close to Baba, Brahma Baba, and now has you all have become Raazyukt. That means you understood the secrets of how Brahma Baba became like Shiv Baba, how he became number one instrument to create yagya, to sustain yagya, and also what are his root sanskars or eternal sanskars. So it's a lot of understanding, lot of practice. That I think if we would have got 1 week for one, it would have been more beneficial, right? Of course, we did for a day, but spirituality is so revealing that when I do it, I understand more. Then I want to do more so that it can be deeper understanding. That is why most of our practices are we have to all the time keep doing it. Right? So even if month is over and the structure way of explaining deep secrets, time date wise is over, but our practices should continue. That is why we are providing you with the list. I thought I will continue, look into that and see which I need to do it today for every day. Because we have to continue with how deepening the understanding, deepening the practice of the each significance of each root sanskar. This morning you all must have heard that Baba also gave everyone congratulations and that everyone sincerely was making effort. Also, Baba showed each one of us as a blossom flower, that we look at each other also as a colorful blossom flower with look at their specialities. So we always could feel the fragrance. And also in Murli Baba's blessing of serving with thoughts, words, and actions. Because the creation and the sustenance needs the power of mind. So when we are speaking to have good wishes, pure feeling, soul consciousness, not only when I am giving knowledge, but all the time when I am speaking certain words, my mind to have elevated thoughts. So elevated thoughts while speaking and interacting with others. That is where souls are sustained and they feel that I got power through the words. Otherwise, it becomes more like teachings or a lecture, which these days people are not very willing to listen. But when there is good wishes, elevated thoughts in the mind, then words definitely are more effective. So even as the month is over, getting over today, but as I said, keep looking at those roots and scars and still uh, have churning on them. And also look within you which sanskar I need to imbibe more. Because one is change of sanskar, other is emerging the original sanskars. And also this morning when Baba said, you shouldn't have awareness of body. So for me, I really kind of keep reading that how can you be not aware of body? So in other words, Baba was just saying, have soul consciousness, and in soul consciousness, you will be like Brahma Baba, moving around as an angel or a deity. But then when the word came as that there shouldn't be any pull from your body, because when there is pull, it will become obstruction in having easy yoga. So those 2 points were very deep, that I sit with Baba. So He's Almighty, His current gives me all powers. So that means all the weaknesses should be removed. Transformation should happen. But there are very subtle obstacles in having yoga with Baba, are different pulls. And one of that pull is, Baba said, through your own body. So how do I become soul conscious in such a way? And also step by step, Baba talked about detachment, that you have to be detached from body, you have to be detached from body relationship. Very beautifully changing our physical worldly relationship into spiritual relationship by looking at them as souls. So there is a lot of love, uh, and when there is love, there is cooperation, right? But no pull. And it really needs long-term practice. And it's very interesting because luckily I had all my Lokik relationships became alokik because they all came in Gyan, and then we had very lovely relationship of sharing love, care, but there was no attachment. And it's very beautiful. I don't have any now because most of them have left body. But whenever I think, I always think of them as angels. And I still feel that they, as an angel, they take care. So it's a lovely relationship. That means one of the secret of changing Lokik into Alokik is to look at them as souls. In soul consciousness, look at them as souls and do it for a while, and then you see the transformation. So by the end of this journey, of physical journey, you really feel happy that you haven't left anyone, you're not detached, and in the sense of no connection, but they become Lokik. So even if you are not with them, then send lot of good wishes towards them as a soul, not as my sister, brother, or once you say that in body consciousness, it doesn't work. Anyone you want to change Lokik into a Lokik or help anyone, you have to look at that soul as a soul and soul consciousness. It's really beautiful experience, and same start happening with our resources around us. And we use them in soul consciousness as a trustee, then how it changes and creates uh, such security, abundance, and everything used in a worthwhile way. Nothing goes waste. So then soul consciousness from my old sanskar and nature, that's the biggest one, right? So way of getting detached is not that, oh, I am not connected, I don't care, I don't know, right? But in soul consciousness, with soul consciousness for your body, for relationships, for resources, and your own old sanskars and nature. Use practice of soul consciousness. So we will experiment for this month the way the Murli was. Read the first paragraph of Murli few times. I had been reading it many times to understand when Baba says you shouldn't have awareness of body. So I'm really understanding how it is possible. And with that, I'm also practicing. We will practice more. Then you start becoming aware of your angelic and deity form. And I'm sure you will have beautiful experience for that too. So Baba says when you are detached, you will be loved by God and the family. You will be loved by God and the family. Because it's only in soul consciousness I can also feel God's love. Otherwise, I don't feel. Because the body consciousness, a lot of subtle obstacles as we are on journey and we have to complete journey and to stay light and be complete. Soul consciousness is very, very important. And of course, then Baba gave us a throne, which will we start using from tomorrow, Amrit Vela, seated on lotus throne. So February will also be a beautiful experience, practices. So we look forward to knowing that more and then practice. Om Shanti. It's very beautiful. Mhm. We should all keep this for our revision of roots and scars.
Om Shanti, dear Mohini Didi. Om Shanti, everyone. Avyakti Parivar. Yes, thank you. It's so lovely to feel that we have been following the footsteps. Without knowing, we've been following 31 footsteps. So I feel that we've been actually dancing the dance of sanskars. And 31 steps, it's a beautiful dance. We can dance with all those different sanskars. So, yes, we've come to conclusion. It's been really a lovely journey. And we'll be also reflecting a little bit on what we have found in terms of secrets for those last 31 days. And I know for you, Mohini Didi, you've been like the Ganga River, never stopping, overflowing with thoughts, insights, ideas. And it's quite amazing that, like you said, every sanskar could be also a sanskar for 1 week. And I think we're all wondering, what has been your journey in the month of January? I know you enjoyed it. I hope I was okay and I didn't push you too much in remembering 50 years back, 60 years back. I know it was quite a big effort for you to remember all these early days. So what has been your journey for the past 31 days, and did it bring new awarenesses regarding Brahma Baba's life or your life with Brahma Baba, or where you're at your journey? So what has been the essence of your 31 past days?
No, Baba said in one of the root sanskar, it came about Yog-Yukt, Yukti-Yukt, and then Raazyukt. And I find that every step you have to be Yukti-Yukt. Yukti-Yukt, that means using the methods based on knowledge and remembrance of Baba. So it's like a regular practice, kind of exercise also, to be Yukti-Yukt, but also Yog-Yukt. Because I find, especially at this time, this so important to be Yog-Yukt, so that we are not influenced. And I like, when Baba said in the Murli to remain untouched or Nyara or detached, whatever. So it had been, but as I said, 24 hours are not enough. We need at least 3 days, 4 days. So, but I think I will continue to look into, I will keep this, like this small clip. I will keep watching every day and to make myself, I feel always close to Baba and I know loved by Bab Dada, but still, pay more attention to the roots and scars. So
You
it
have
was
been
wonderful.
you have been many times meeting Babdara in the Sata region, and you've been telling him many times that we're all making efforts. Do you feel that your relationship with Brahma Baba is still evolving, that you are still discovering aspects of his life, even now through the subtle form, that amazes you or that makes you really appreciate even more his personality?
Because it's learning, no? Because every time I go to Baba and how he looks at children, like this morning, that I don't only see, but I feel in them. And so it was very beautiful that you don't even see who is what, but then what you do through your drishti. So I always find whenever I go, it's like more learning, more subtle things to learn and do as our Baba is doing it. So that you can call it discovering or following, but definitely every time there is something new, something different.
So you notice that I brought my beautiful angelic dress, and I brought my kurta with my original badge from more than 30 some years ago. This is the original one. So I felt like that maybe I will pull Baba's attention a little bit more and maybe he will take me with you next time to the Sata region. I've been applying to get a lift from you, but I haven't yet met Baba in the Sata world like you do. But we all wish we could meet with him. I'm sure many have also probably either printed or kept this beautiful calendar. And I brought with me tonight a little friend that I love very much. And I'm sure you know him very well. And this is my favorite little. Sometimes I'm alone at home. So when Baba is so busy with you discussing all the Bog messages, I have Ganesh and he entertains me. And if you remember a few days ago, I was reflecting, there must be some trace of this Avyakti Parivar in the scriptures at some point. That we will be remembering that in a copper age. Mm-hmm. So I'm not sure, but the story that came to me that I really liked, you know, the way they wrote the stories, of course, it's with the means of the time. So there was no iPhone or computers. But I'm sure that if they were to show Ganesh today with modern, methods, I'm sure he might be holding a cell phone, keys of Baba's car, maybe a tablet. I don't know what he will have. And I was thinking that what we have gone through the past 300 evenings with you, it reminded me of the story of Vyas, this great wise who was asked to give the knowledge. And then he said, okay, and I'm probably not very accurate in telling the story, you know it better than me. But he said yes, and then but he had a condition that he wanted someone who would write without stopping. And so they asked Ganesh, of course, to write the scriptures. And Ganesh said, yes, but I can, I will do it. But there was two conditions: that he will have to understand the meaning of everything that was said. And I'm wondering if this is not what has been going on for the past 300 days, that the knowledge has been given constantly. And Ganesh is not an elephant, but maybe he's a Zoom. You know, if Vyas was speaking today, maybe he will be speaking with many translators with a mic. Maybe he would be in Zoom, and then he will give knowledge to everyone. And Ganesh will be this wonderful Avyakti Parivar, recording everything, trying to understand every word. And when sometimes it's not clear, maybe, I don't know if it's a sadhu or a Buddha who will come along and ask a few questions for a while. And this Buddha sadhu will ask all these questions. Vyas will continue to flow with the knowledge, tell the knowledge, and Ganesh will be with his iPhone, iPad, smartphone, computer, recording everything. And so I believe that maybe this is what we're doing, is this beautiful knowledge is being given. And Avyakti Parivar is this Ganesha writing it down, recording it, and maybe transcribing it. Do you think you like the story?
Yeah, I'm trying to understand. But you know what? One is knowledge, but what had been happening is the strength which people find. Like even today, someone said, people physically sometimes not well or very close relative have left body, and they find their stage is very good, and they say because even he is not a Pakka BK had been listening, and because everyday listening had been helping the soul to remain very stable. So I think that there are many souls and many young ones who, because of some reasons, were not attending classes, or they are Brahmins but they're not studying, and many have joined. So for me, I find that anyone who feels the need is not necessarily. That's why I don't even ask these days, do you attend or not? Do you listen? I said, whosoever is fortunate and really need in the life the help. So most of the experiences which we get from others in a real way is that how they became stable, they are stronger, and their fears are reducing. They're feeling more secure. Very simple things which are required by Baba's children. So they are able to inculcate, and their stage is really, really helping. So that gives us an encouragement that in a simple way, just keep sharing, simplify everything so that everyone can understand. Everyone, whether they are old or young, educated or not, and Brahmins but one can take something from that. And many, many, especially like some mothers, their husbands, they knew knowledge, but they never attended, and now they are listening every evening. So it's just, yes, I don't know, it's Ganesh or I,
Yeah, I'm just using
okay,
it as a
yeah, it's a,
humorous approach, but I find that the beauty is it's not just, we've been listening to classes for many, many years. And what I feel is beautiful in what has happened since a year almost soon, in 2 months, it would be a year, is not just to listen to knowledge. That's why this story came to me, is not just listening, but is the ability for everyone to understand. And the way you've been helping us to understand the subtleties of every aspect, and not just to understand, but to then put it into practice so we can follow. And for me, it has been a very revealing experience to try to really look at Brahma Baba and say, we want to use the same sanskar, we want to develop the same sanskars. And in that way, I was remembering that story because I feel it's not just telling a story, but it's becoming the story. And it's applying it every day. And the way I've seen everyone taking so many notes, and even myself, I have a big pile of notes now from the last month. I feel this is such a beautiful way of applying knowledge and practicing, repeating the sentence, journaling. So we're all like these Ganeshas, writing down
mhm.
the information as if it was coming, and there was no end. There was no. It keeps it very consistent. So that's why I like that little story. So let us call the one who has been really helping tremendously in shaping this month of January, which is Sister Gayatri. And I'd love if we could invite her to join the conversation and hear from her in terms of what has been the revealed secrets of this whole month. And I know you've been working the whole month of December and January with Avyakti Parivar, and you've been helping us tremendously in understanding those roots and scars, even deeper into the root itself. So tell us, dear Gayatriji, what has been on your revealed secret in the last month that you discovered?
Well, one of the revealed secrets is when you wear your kurta pajama and your shawl, you could be described as in your pajamas with your towel around your shoulders, running down the um, the streets of Montreal. That image would stay with me, but I feel that for me, with the roots and scars, um, I was very inspired, of course, by Baba's diary, and it was just an amazing act of drama that I should have, while in the midst of going through my files, found that file with his diary, the pages of his diary, and it was on the 18th of December that I found it. And when I opened the pages, one of the first ones that I saw, it was on the 18th of December, 1932. And so I thought, wow, this is speaking to me. And so for me, the secret that I discovered for the whole month that connected me to something profound is what Baba saw as a seed sanskara was truth. Brahma Baba. He didn't know Shiv Baba then. He didn't know what was going to happen to him. But he was holding on to this concept of truth. And from that truth, he started talking to himself, and he started exploring whether it was his guru, whether it was bhakti, whether it was his life. Different strands started emerging out of that exploration of the seeds and skaras. And within the exploration, I call those as roots because they were like being drawn from the seed, but they were strands that was connecting him to a life that he was living. And so throughout the whole month, I was subtly distinguishing truth as a seed sanskara. And then the roots sanskaras were all these other strands coming from that seed and how he was looking at it in the context of his life. So that is something I think I will be carrying through with um, that exploration of truth. Now, this morning, at the end of it all, you may think that you have discovered something, and then you just get a beautiful experience. And so this morning, when I was in Amrit Vela, I was having this very strong experience of, as of tomorrow, can I live my life in truth, which means, can I live my life with non duality? Can I live above right and wrong, true and false? The two extremes. Can I just stay with what is true? And that would mean that can I stay connected to the source of truth? Can I stay connected to Baba? And then, secondly, was can I also, if I can hold that non duality, then I'll be able to see everything in its Sato Pradhan stage. And that I was strongly moved by those two things. And I said, is this really a secret that is going to reveal itself to me? And if it is, that's where it was worth all everything that I've done for the month. If I could land in a place like that, even as an aspiration, if not a total, complete becoming, but as an aspiration to become. So, yeah, that was my revelation of secret.
And just briefly, I'm curious about one aspect. I know your eyes are very sharp and you can see in many layers through thoughts, understanding, personalities. I was staring at Brahma Baba like this for a month from inside, by his thoughts, sanskars. Did it have an effect on your relationship with him? Do you feel closer to him? Do you talk to him a bit differently? Are you more, I don't know, what's changed in your chit chat with him and your intimate connection with him?
Well, I always had a very close relationship with Brahma Baba. Sometimes I think the reason I stayed a BK was because of Brahma Baba, because the moment I met him, I felt I had unfinished business with him, and he had come to collect. He sent his janky to Guyana to find me because I needed to settle something I started and had to complete. But I think that, so for me, sitting in yoga was never a problem. When people say remembrance is a problem and it's hard, I never found it hard. And maybe because I loved him the moment I saw him, I fell in love with him, and that love never changed. And so this is why sometimes I get kind of miffed if I don't see his picture, when I'm just seeing Shiv Baba's picture and I don't see him. I said, okay, he's becoming more and more incognito. And that's fine too. I mean, it's not about him. He always said that it's about God. But for the last month, I think he wanted me to see his diary in a different way, and wanted me to reveal the diary with a level of integrity. Because imagine it's 8 pages out of a diary that could totally be taken out of context because we don't have the context of the full diary. And so it took me a long time to to say, yes, I want to do it, Baba, but I want to do it with a high level of integrity. I do not want it to be taken out of context. And so it was as though I started a relationship with him when he started his journey in 1932. And it was as if he was letting me into the secrets of his life that I never before thought that I needed to, to understand that part of his life before actually Shiv Baba, he contacted him, and then Shiv Baba started revealing knowledge through him. And I felt extremely privileged that I should be, in a way, it became so personal. I felt very privileged that Baba should, in a subtle way, want me to do that, want me to see him in such a human way, want me to see that he also had questions, and it wasn't a path that was easy on many levels for him. And he wanted me to see that essential humanity in him. And I think that has really brought me close to him in a very different way, because before I used to see him as this perfect, complete human being that I should be celebrating. And that's what I started with on the 18th of January, I think I said that today is the day that we celebrate someone who has become perfect and who has, achieved the angelic stage. But I think that as the month progressed, I realized that he was a human being with all the struggles that a human being had on this path. And it was the first time I was actually touching that human part of Brahma Baba. And it really made me love him in a very different way, and brought me closer to him in a very different way. And in many respects, I always saw myself as his daughter. I never saw myself as anything else with Brahma Baba but Brahma Baba's daughter. And I felt really honored to have been his daughter and to stay his daughter, and maybe to be his daughter for many, many births in the cycle.
Well, that's you get blessings from hundreds of souls tonight to be his daughter as many times as you want, maximum 84 times. Get them all.
Well,
Gertrude,
I was someone else's daughter, he reclaimed me.
all right. Anyway, I'm sure that you won't be able to see everyone right now, but I'd love to invite everyone to wave to Sister Gertrude, because she has been really helping us to go through the journey in such a beautiful way. You've been really articulating every step of these 31 steps of dance together. So thank you from the heart. Thank you. He's saying hello too. Go hello, and then congratulations. And thank you for taking us through the journey and making us see Brahma Baba in such a beautiful way as well. So blessings to be his daughter as many times as you want. Thank you, Gertrude. And
thank you.
See you very soon in Avyakti Parivar, I'm sure. So now we're going to look at the program for next month. And I'm sure everyone is wondering, what are we going to do in the month of February in Avyakti Parivar? So we have a title, and there is a slide that has been prepared just to at least launch this new theme. And so I think those who were in the retreat this morning heard Sister Judy from Calgary already mentioning about the theme, which will be on soul consciousness. And it's going to be very interesting because it is directly coming from Sister Mohini, who really wants to help us to explore this beauty of soul consciousness, but to really develop it even more and more in a very practical level. So we call this program Soul Consciousness, a drop of awareness 5 times a day. And the concept is going to be very simple, and it's going to focus on a point of awareness that will be presented by Mohini Didi every night. And that point of awareness will have to practice it, to implement it in 5 actions during the day. And everyone will have to define something that some have called a micro habit, a little action that everybody is doing every day, all the time. So everyone will have to be a little bit creative and find those 5 moments in the day during which we will practice and apply the awareness or the point of awareness of the day. So an example could be, for some, if you still have hair, when you comb your hair, you might want to enjoy remembering that point of awareness whilst combing your hair. You may want to choose a time when it is, for example, when you're dressing up, or when you're taking a shower, or when you're going for a walk, or when you're doing something not just so usual like eating or having traffic control. These are the usual moments where we already need to practice this awareness, but we're suggesting that you find 5 actions or 5 moments in the day, not to invent them, those that you're already practicing, and those 5 moments during the day that you want to implement this point of awareness. And I'm going to invite Sister Mohini to join us again, because we will start right tomorrow morning. So the practice of helping the awareness in our practice will start at Amrit Vela as well. So we're going to have Amrit Vela together, and they will be similar to what Sister Gayatri has been doing the whole month of January. But you'll discover another voice that all of you know already very well. She cannot be with us tonight, but it will be our dear Sister Kala, who will be taking our hand the whole month of February to explore soul consciousness with new points of awareness every day. So I'd like to invite Sister Mohini to share her insights, because this morning, listening to Baba's Murli and Baba taking us into this beautiful concept of detachment or being untouched, Nyara, there was a feeling that he was so inviting with those 4 aspects connected to detachment that I know, Mohini Didi, you felt that this could be a way for us to explore soul consciousness in a very practical way, exploring this state of detachment or being untouched, and applying it with a very specific point of awareness every day. So I'd love to hear from you, and I'm sure everyone will love to hear how you see this connection between soul consciousness and Nyara, or being detached or being untouched.
Om Shanti. Before Didi speaks, we have something for 3 of you. Actually, from Hola Vyakti Parivar, I would like to say that thank you so much, our Mohini Didi, Brother Eric, and Sister Gayatri. And we have beautiful blessing for 3 of you. So first, for Brother Eric, here is the blessing for you from Avyakti Parivar. Your heart overflows with a love for humanity, making you the perfect instrument for God's task. So please accept this little gift from Avyakti Parivar for really giving us this time to us. Yes, we will send you the blessing. And really, really, we all enjoyed a lot the conversation, and we have received many, many beautiful experiences. So once again, thank you. And we are not letting you go, because we will bring you every Saturday for chit chat with Didi and Sister Gayatri. It was amazing. Every Amrit Vela, whenever you shared, brought us such a big treasure for us. I don't know how to describe, and how I don't know how to say thanks, because to put to such effort for us is like, of course Baba does it, but you all also did it for us. So much gratitude, so much thanks from our heart for all of you and Sister Gayatri. So here is the blessing for you, Sister Gayatri, from Avyakti Parivar. You are a special soul whom God reveals to the world at the time when true beauty needs to be understood. So thank you once again. I will send you your blessing. It's from Avyakti Parivar, little gift for you. And we cannot forget our Didi, right? Mohini Didi is without you. Of course, you are the instrument, but still, you became instrument for us to uplift our stage. So here is the blessing for you from Avyakti Parivar. Your heart is a sacred place that holds a deep love for God, the essence of truth, and the utmost regard for others. Thank you so much, Mohini Didi. And of course, we cannot forget our Bap Dada. It's Brahma Baba, Shiv Baba. They are always with us. And how do we thank them? It's only from our heart. We cannot give word blessing to them because they are showering blessings to us, but of course from our heart. We just take a one determined thought today and for our further journey. So let's take a one moment of silence and just talk to our Baba, Brahma Baba, Shiv Baba, and let's thanks together to our Bab Dada. I request everyone wave your one hand for all these three instruments who are with us here, and of course our Bab Dada. Here, Didi is also watching everyone. One hand clap for appreciation. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And now we'll listen from Didi.
I think that there is great importance of blessing. So, biggest gift one can give, the biggest gift we can share with each other is blessings. Of course, this is written, but it's from my heart. Our hearts, we share blessings. It's incognito, invisible power, but it definitely has great power. I I read the first paragraph of Morley few times and start feeling that what from where we should begin our practice of soul consciousness. I always saw center of forehead as a sacred space, and sometimes I took it more as a cave through isolation, solitude. Just go and sit there and do tapasya, be with Baba. But then when I start thinking of lotus throne in the center of forehead, I felt very good. So I thought that I will take this as whole month our center of forehead as the lotus throne, and I as a soul seated on the lotus throne. So the first thought I will take is myself as a living force, a point of light, eternal and immortal. So why I'm saying it in Hindi, they call it Chaitanya, Chaitanya Jyoti Bindu, living force, point of light on this lotus throne, Baba said this morning. You know what my feelings are that since few days that it is really, really very, very important to create this awareness of soul consciousness, because each thought, like when I am really able to be a point of light, I see how all the energy, all the power get concentrated, and like I don't know what words to describe, but there are certain beautiful experiences come just with this awareness of I'm a point of light. There is, because there is deep connection of, even if I have to be detached from body, but also there is deep connection of soul with the body, and how that power or energy manifest in many different ways. So Kalaben in at Amrit Vela will give one thought to us, but this is what I had. We have talked about it, and what words she will say it. I think I leave it to her, but we will keep our lotus throne ready and create that awareness. I don't know if it's clear.
Yeah, so that would be a point of awareness, living force of light, immortal and eternal on the lotus throne.
Yeah, that's how I thought.
That's
So
one.
lotus throne will remain, and then we keep
Mm.
taking one aspect of.
So
Because
this,
when I came to Baba, then Brahma Baba in the afternoon at 5 used to ask, we were 2, 3 kanyas to go and sit on the top of that rock and practice that I am immortal soul, I am eternal soul, and a point of light. That was my first practice, and we will do it for 1 hour. And I realized that if I am immortal and eternal, there won't be attachment with body, there won't be any fear. There were a lot of benefits will come from that awareness. So I thought to begin from what was my first practice given to me by Brahma Baba. So
it's lovely. And I want to say also that Sister Kala has been accompanying Sister Gayatri and I the whole month of January in reflecting on the points beforehand. So she's already in that process of continuing from the month of January and taking us into this new topic of soul consciousness. And so the title again is A Drop of Awareness 5 times a day. Tomorrow will be Living Force of Light, Immortal and Eternal. And so we'll be finding, so each one of you has to find before you go to bed, what will be those 5 actions tomorrow and for the rest of the month that will become your moments where this awareness become very, very vibrant, and then you really implement it. So pick some 5 moments, 5 actions that are very interesting. Gayatri Ben was suggesting to me, I drink a lot of water. So every time, it could be every time you drink water, that point of awareness. It could be every time you do something very specific. Those who live in a 5-story apartment building with no elevator, every time you go up and down, up and down, up and down, you find something interesting that will change even your consciousness when you do the action, which may have passed by your awareness up to now. So that would be very, very interesting. Gayatri Ben, you wanted to add one thought on this, or?
Yes, I think it's very clear, and I'm sure that Bhumi Ben will send out the awareness that Sister Mohini has given, because I think it would be helpful for people to have it for the Amrit Vela tomorrow, and for Calaban to also hold that. I like the idea of the lotus throne being the image as well, but I also like the drop of soul consciousness. So the lotus throne may go with the awareness point. But for me, the way I will practice it is soul consciousness is a very broad concept. So when I think of myself as a soul, it is as though I become present with my 84 births and my presence and my 5 forms and everything. I'm fully present as a soul. And so what I will do, I will put as a core a core focus in my soul consciousness, the word nyara. So for the whole month, when I have my one drop 5 times a day of soul consciousness, it will be practicing this nyara, being detached, consciously feeling myself being detached, and what does that feel like? What's the benefit of that? And so I know that also the continuation of a journal might be very good to capture these points, these 5 times a day, the drop. and to write that up in your journal as your chart. But I also see it. Why I like the drop thing, it's because, when we go to the eye doctor, they normally give you drops for your eyes and say, take these drops in your eyes so many times a day to rehydrate your eyes, especially if you have dry eyes or your tears are drying up. And so I see these as 5 times a day drops for the third eye. And so it will keep the third eye hydrated and keep us, aware of ourselves.
But also drop has importance, on the lotus flower. If you go in the morning and you see, whenever lotus flower, there are drops of dew and they could stay, it's like very beautiful way the drops are connected with the lotus flower also. So I'm seeing that way. It's very beautiful. And then, you know, I, Nyara, I said untouched because I feel even lotus cannot stay alive and it's very much connected with the roots. So we do not deny that, yes, there is connections and Baba always use word relationship and connections. But untouched here is really because in body consciousness, we are touched in the sense of we are sensitive. So our reactions, responses are really from body consciousness. But if I am not touched by anyone's sanskar situation or natural, Baba said, through the matter, then flower, even if it's connected, but stays very, very detached. So soul consciousness actually will bring natural detachment. And that will be very pure, very gentle, and not only beloved to God, but also loved by the family. Because I like word detachment, but sometimes I don't like it because I feel a lot of people just feel, oh, I am detached, and a lot of other people could have a lot of waste thoughts. But in soul consciousness, because my mind, like today when Baba says, serve with your thoughts, words, actions, you have to be sensible. So when I said untouched, really means that you show that I am connected with everyone. So I have to have good wishes for everyone. But also I am, so when anything happens, then if I am, keep my mind, and if I am in soul consciousness, I am untouched anyway, So it's a very beautiful way to experience that soul consciousness is makes us nearer, but also it's a detached, in other words. Anyway, we will talk more about it.
And it would be beautiful that you wanted to also take those 4 points, one per week. So during the first week, it would be the full aspect because there's so much, subtleties. So it would be lovely that the whole, month will be divided in those 4 weeks with 4 points that you'll be developing. All right, so we'll all be ready, and then we'll all be joining for another month of adventure. And now maybe we can leave the last word for Bhumiji to take us into
Yes, Brother Eric.
the good night. So thank you, everyone, and I take
Eric Bhai,
leave. Yes.
1 minute. Can you just repeat the topic and the practice which we have to do tomorrow?
So the point of awareness that you'll drop 5 times a day in every of these 5 karma actions that you choose will be the soul is a living force of light, immortal and eternal. Is that correct, Sister Mohini?
1 minute. अभी
You have to repeat again for them.
Living force of light, immortal and eternal.
Seated on the lotus throne.
Yeah, seated on the lotus throne you'll be sitting on that throne for the whole month. So choose a nice one. Take a big throne with a beautiful flower. And it will be the same throne the whole month.
So just to clarify, so as you said, because I'm getting some chat to ask questions, so I just want to clarify with the whole Avakti Parivar. So we had to choose 5 actions for whole month, right?
No, per day, no.
Yeah, but it will be the same, unless you want to change. But I think you can choose the same actions for the month, because then it will be very strong. If I, for example, for me, if I decide that every time I drink water, I mean, you can choose, or you can change if you want at some point, but I feel like for me, for the whole month, every time I drink, this is my moment where I practice the awareness. Second moment for me will be when I go up and down the stairs. Third moment, maybe when I put my hair, could be very long, in the morning. So I have time to practice. No, it takes me 1 second. But you choose 5 moments, and that will be the times when you remember, okay, what's the point for today? I drink water. Okay, awareness. This is what I practice. So it gives us a chance. It's different because otherwise we use traffic control, but this will be different. It will be a little bit new. So some of you take a long time to choose which sari to wear in the morning, and you go through your 10 white sari and you don't know which one. That could be the moment where you decide, let me be detached, Nyara. And you practice at that time the point of awareness. Is that clear, Bhumiji?
But also,
Yeah,
it's not only while doing action that's additional, because Baba said, then you emerge as an angel and deity, but also it could be any time, during traffic control, morning. And I find even few moments whenever you want to do it. I think it's really, really, so it can be sitting, it can be moving around, it can be while doing action, but it will remain as one practice per day.
thank you very much for clarifying. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And of course, we cannot forget our whole team, our translators, our recorders, and all of you who are part of Avakti Parivar. There is no Avakti Parivar without you. So thank you to each one of you and all of us. Thank you. Om Shanti. Om Shanti. So here's the topic, and you all must have wrote down the topic which Brother Eric mentioned, but also we'll be sending an email the topic which was just mentioned. I, the soul, living force of light, immortal and eternal, seated on the lotus throne. And as you're saying, Shivlingam, in India, all the temples has this, the setup in a way that every moment one drop is dropped on the Shivlingam. So it's kind of, just imagine that whole Avyakti Parivar together doing this practice. It means that each and every moment is like, put it as a drop with Baba's remembrance or whatever the practice which we are doing. It's amazing. It will be like Akhand Bhatti. So thank you. I was thinking what way we can catch all the drops together and see how many drops we did for a day. We'll find a way that we can submit our drops and we count per day how many drops we did. So let's start our practice from tomorrow morning. And as Didi also mentioned and brother also mentioned, that tomorrow morning from Amrit Vela we'll be having same schedule and we'll be practicing of course whatever the topic has been given to us. So you all are welcome to join Amrit Vela, and also whole day practice, and of course our new series tomorrow, Soul Consciousness, a drop of awareness 5 times a day. I hope you all enjoyed, and now soon we'll be seeing you next month, February. Om Shanti. Now we'll be remembering Baba and take drishti.
Thank you, everyone, and we keep sharing blessings for each other. Thank you. Om Shanti and good night. Om Shanti.